is where I confront my nanny. Welcome, everybody. I'm really thankful for the support that you all are giving me on this journey. I really do appreciate. Today, I'll start with a quote that I read from a former HR manager's status. Everyone wants to be the sun to lighten up someone's life, but why not be the moon to shine on someone's darkest hour? This quote hit me. I only had God on my darkest moments. Not a single friend or person or family asked me how I was. I never saw light. My children were going through their darkest moments, and I really felt alone. They felt alone. Me and my children did not trust no one at this time, but only God. Well, a recap on my 8th episode. Like I told you guys, I sent my nanny to the kiosks to go get some greens, and because I knew it will take a minute, and the way she likes talking to people, I knew she will take time, and that's how I came to find out after I questioned my daughter if what my son was telling me was the truth. And my son was right all along. My nanny was exposing my daughter to adult stuff through texts and vulgar language used by the men who were communicating with my nanny. And I say this because this is what my daughter told me, because my daughter had to be reading and taking pictures of my nanny when she was nude without clothes. So this was really affecting my daughter, and it was really sad. It was really, really sad. And my daughter had to read what these men were telling my nanny. So she was really exposed to all this other stuff at a really young age. And she had to do as the nanny had requested her to do. She felt trapped, and she had no other option but to do as she was told. So after like maybe 20 to 30 minutes, when my nanny was coming back, at this particular moment, I had already called my friend. And my friend was coming to my house at that particular moment because I had already told him what was happening, what was going on. So he was coming to my house. And at that particular time, when he was coming, they met with my nanny at the gate. So, that's his cousin. So they started arguing at the gate. So I was on phone with my kids at that particular moment. So we had commotion. My daughter told me there's a commotion at the gate, and she doesn't know what is really happening. So before I tell you what was really happening, let me give you a recap, a little bit of story about this nanny that I got. This nanny that I had, I was given by this friend of mine, and that's his cousin. So she had 3 kids. One child has been missing for several years, and she's been trying all sorts of ways to get her son back. But it's so unclear how this child disappeared. According to her story, it doesn't really add up how the son disappeared. And being the norm in Africa, she had tried different ways from people who claimed to be seers, prayers, witch doctors. She had really tried from the police, from this, like anybody who was willing to help. She had tried, and from traditional healers. She was told she was bewitched. She had tried all sorts, from going to these pastors, these fake pastors. She had tried, and she was losing a lot of money by all these bizarre theories that she was being told about her son's disappearance. So we really think this is the reason that led her to do what she was doing, to get more money, to be able to look for her son. This is just my side, my thought, because I was really wondering why she started doing what she was doing. But I came to realize later on, this is something she's been doing, but I didn't know, and she was hiding. So my reason for saying her story, I was wondering, the way I just told you, before I was trying to find out why she was doing all this. Because the other two children are well and safe with their father, even though like I was saying, even though the husband remarried, the other children were very well and they were co-parenting well. So I did not even get why she was doing what she was doing, and why she decided to do that to my daughter, or whatever she was doing to get more money. It was still a mystery to me, because still her story about the son's disappearance is still a mystery, and the story does not really add up. But I cannot judge her, because it's been several years since then. So when my nanny came back, like I was telling you before I interrupted to tell her story, when she was en route to my house, they happened to meet at the gate, and the cousin decided to confront her at the gate. And that's when my daughter and my son, they had the commotion, and when they went outside, it was them too. So my son rushed back and told me on phone, it is them, they're arguing at the gate. So I just told my son, please tell them to come inside the house. Tell them to come inside the house, because we really need to discuss this. So I had to talk to them now when they were in the house, but there were words being thrown. Like, he was shouting, she was crying, he was shouting, and then my daughter also started crying. So there was a lot going on. So I had to, my kids had to sit on that meeting, because she was accusing them and saying it was all lies. But the good thing also, my daughter was pretty sharp. She had screenshots of all this that was going on, and that's how she decided to send them. And we had all this evidence, and it was really, really sad. And my daughter was scared even to defend herself, but I kept on, and I told her, please just talk. I told her, mommy, talk, don't be afraid. But the nanny was so defensive, and she was crying. She was like crying so loud, like I think she wanted to disrupt all this. She wanted to psychologically play with our minds. And so what I decided also to tell her, I just decided to lie. And I told her, this house has cameras. It has cameras. And me personally, I've been seeing what you've been doing during the day and at night when my daughter comes. So I really wanted to be clear with you. And when I said that, and I knew I was lying, when I said that, she went quiet. She was mum. She could not talk, because she knew, I knew it all along. So I tried to tell her why she's been doing this to my child. And I told her, this thing, I have to report it, because whatever you've been doing, she's a minor, and this is something that has to be reported to the police. So, but at the end of it, I did not report to the police, because this was so traumatizing to my children, and I had no one to help me follow up with the case. You can imagine, I'm miles away, but the police, in our police, you have to fund for your case. You have to fund to make the cops come to the location. So nobody was there to follow it up with me. So I just let it go, and the only thing was just to fire her. So I had to look for cash. Then I paid her for her services, and she left after it. I had to stay with her for I think 2 more days. But my kids were with a family friend. Now, the cousin's nanny. So he had to take my kids for the moment, for the 2 days, while I was looking for money to pay for my nanny. So again, this is when again I call again my dayback nanny. If you guys you've heard my story, my dayback nanny, who was a thief, who used to steal from me, I had to call her and help me while the nanny was still there, because remember I told you she still stayed for a few days, because I did not have cash to pay her there and then. So Because at that particular, the reason I did not have cash, I had just paid my rent, I had just paid my kids' school fees, and I had done a large house shopping, and I had paid also my bills this other side. So I was out of cash. So I had to go apply for a loan at the bank, and they offered me that emergency loan. So that's how I sent her money after like 2 days. She apologized for her actions, but still, and she also apologized to the children. I forgave her, and I told her to leave, because that's the only thing we could talk about. I just told her, you have to leave. I can no longer stay with you. So she really cried. She was begging and all that, but whatever she did was unforgivable. But through my words, I just told her, I forgive you. But deep down my heart, no, I was deeply hurt. And I felt bad. There's nothing I could have done. Like even to report her, I could have not done it. I'm miles and miles away. Nobody was willing to follow up for me. Even my friend, because he was busy, he wasn't willing. The only thing was just to fire her. So my day bag came, and we started again with her. So we stayed with my day bag for like 3 months. And she was coming and going every day. She was okay coming every day very early by 4 a.m. and then leaving by 7 a.m. Because she had kids also. So she was coming very, very early, 4 a.m. in the morning, and then leaving at 7 a.m. When my son left. Because my daughter used to leave the house at 5:30 in the morning. And then my son used to leave at 6:30 in the morning. So when she was taking my son to the bus stop, that's when she was leaving. She wasn't coming back to the house. So, and then she will come back at around 3 p.m. when my younger son used to come back at 3:34. So the day bag used to come back at 3 p.m. and then do cleaning, do laundry, prepare dinner, and then she would stay till 10 at night when my kids went to bed. And then that's when she could leave. By the time she came back, my kids were up. So that's when I really decided to set up cameras in the house, because now my kids were alone at night. So this went on for like 3 months. And then again, it was just a back and forth. My kids were just alone. So, but it's just by God's grace. Nothing ever happened. All eyes were in my house. So I had cameras now. I could monitor the house even at night, because I used to work night shifts, so I could monitor the house. It was just by God's grace. My kids were safe. So after 3 months, while I was staying with my nanny, like I told you, things started missing again. So when things started missing in the house, because there's a day my daughter sings. She's a singer, and she's an actress. So this particular day, my daughter was supposed to go to her studio where she normally sings and records her songs. So there's a particular outfit she was supposed to wear. And this was just new. I had just bought them. There's a friend of mine, I had sent her money, and then she went with my daughter, and then they bought this stuff. So it's something I knew, because I had even pictures of what was bought. So my daughter was like, Mommy, I cannot find my shoes and my jacket that I want to wear when I go to the studio to record. It's just a recording. She's just a singer. So I was like, how can you not find them? So I asked her, you ask the nanny. Then the nanny said, I cannot find them. I'm like, no, I just bought this stuff like 3 days ago. Just 3 days ago, my friend just dropped them. My daughter has not even worn these clothes. They're still new. So, and I'm like, where are the shoes? They were still in the box. Where are the shoes? The shoes were like missing. From panties, from boob tops. It was crazy. My daughter didn't have her stuff. So where are all these things? So I'm asking the nanny, please, if you took this stuff, there's no need of going back and forth. I need this stuff. I really need them. So I wasn't kidding with her this time round. I just told her I need this stuff. Or else I will call the police. No matter how far I am, I have connections. The cops are going to come. So, and then when I'm arguing with her, My son comes and tells me, Mom, I cannot find my phone. I was talking through my daughter's phone. So I'm like, no. So I'm telling the nanny, no, you can't do this. You can't do this. I'm really desperate. I need you to work for me, and then you're starting again to steal from me. No, I need this stuff. These things that you took, these kids have not even won. Please, I need them. And where's my son's phone? Then she pretended, here's the phone. But the thing is, when she found the phone, it had no SIM card, which means she had already removed the SIM card from my son's phone. So I'm like, are you kidding me? Where's the SIM card? Just give me the SIM card. I know you took it. There's no need of being ashamed. I know you took it. Just give it back. Because how will I renew this SIM card again? Please, just give me back the SIM card. So eventually she pretended that she was sweeping, I don't know, lifting the couch, whatever, couch pillows and all that. And then she said, I just found it. I knew she was lying. I really confronted her. I really did. But she eventually agreed and said she took the clothes and the shoes. And I told them, why do you always do this? I really pay you good money. I really do. Why do you do this to me? I told her, right now I've installed cameras. I can see what you're doing. And I was seeing, because this time around I had cameras. I told her, I can see what you're doing. Why are you doing this? Then she went and asked for forgiveness. I ignored that despite me knowing what she had done. So when the next day she came, she brought back the shoes. She brought back everything that she had taken from me. And she swore to me that she will never take anything again. So, but this also went back and forth. She was stealing food. I could see her on cameras. Then I just told her, if you want some food stuff, just ask it and I will share with you. There's no need. I'm paying you good money, even give you extra to go buy and route your dinner when you're going back to your kids. You buy food for the next day. I still sort you out, but you still take some stuff from me. So I asked her, you see, I'm so desperate, and that's the reason you're doing this to me? And I told her, you're really messing my friendship. You're really messing it up. And if you want my friendship and yours to be done with, so I guess this will be it. And I don't think I'll ever call you again, even if I have a big problem. So she really apologized, and she's an older woman, so I didn't know why she was doing this. She was a single woman because the husband had already left also due to alcohol. So, and then one of her sons decided to be a street boy, and the other child quit school. So it was just her 3 daughters, I think. And then one son decided to go live in the village because he could not stand the way the mom was so poor. But I was really helping them. But I even helped, and she opened a small business where she was living in the ghetto, but still, she was still doing that to me. So I really wonder when she was going to other houses what was really happening. So, but eventually, I had to let her go, and at this time, I had to let her go for good. For good, like I said, enough is enough. So I just said, I cannot do this. Even though her work is good, she's very good with the children. I just had to stand my ground and say enough is enough. So I had to let her go. But at this time also, when I let her go, my friend who had helped me with the cousin was going through a divorce with a wife. And the wife was also close to my children. He was also close to my children. So I was torn because the wife was helping also. She was a homemaker. She wasn't working. She was doing just some online business, like hustling. So she could go over my house anytime, but they decided to divorce, and she left also. I will read a verse, 2 Corinthians, verse 4, chapter 4, verse 16 to 18. Therefore, we do not despair, but even if our physical body is wearing away, our inner person is being renewed day by day. For our momentary, light suffering is producing for us an eternal weight of glory far beyond all comparison, because we are not looking at what can be seen, but at what cannot be seen. For what can be seen is temporary, but what cannot be seen is eternal, my friends. Y'all, if you like this show, please consider leaving a review. This helps my podcast to grow. Then hit the follow button, and if you have questions, send me an email at achoch@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and I appreciate you for tuning in and taking time to listen to my story. Please share, follow wherever you're listening to. iHeart, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, and Google Podcast, even at Podchaser. Coming up next time on Security Diaries about Parent Guilty Conscious on my 10th episode, where I moved my kids to my friend's house temporarily after his divorce. And I did this because I had no option. And I had to lock my house now because we could not manage now. The wife had gone. He had divorced. And he had to take my 2 kids to live with him, and I had to lock my house, but I still kept my house. And he said he will temporarily help me with my kids until I sort my issue. Thank you. Bye-bye.